Hey guys, Furum here, and today I will not be testing the Cadillac Cien Concept in Asphalt 9 multiplayer. Mine is only at 2 stars, so I asked Afiq to provide some races in his maxed 4-star Cien, and so I could see how it would do against other cars like the Apollo, for example. All of these races were recorded in the Northern King season, where the Apollo N, Koenigsegg Regera, 918, and Regera BC were the most common cars. So, at max, the Cadillac Cien Concept can go 238 miles per hour. This is approximately the same speed as the max SCG. However, the SCG has better acceleration, nitro efficiency, and handling than the Cien, allowing it to beat the Cien on all tracks and pushing the Cien down to about the middle of Class B. So better than the 4GT, but worse than the Ferrari 488 GTB. So this is one of those cars in the game that has high top speed but not so great everything else, meaning that it is harder to drive than a lot of other cars, or most other cars I should say. Now since I don't have this car at max, I can't accurately describe how it feels to drive it, but I can say that my 2-star Cien is pretty sluggish and so is my 4-star 4GT, so I suppose at max the Cien doesn't feel too great either. However, if you can learn to drive it well, it's one of those cars that can do quite well for you. For example, in this race, Afiq is facing a Porsche 918, Regera BC, Apollo N, and wrecking all of them. So we're coming up to the end of this race here, and going to the left here and flat spinning out is definitely the best way through here. I'm surprised at how many people don't actually know to do that. Now back there, I go right and do a barrel roll to get some extra speed, so I'm not exactly sure which way is faster there. But we come in first, no problems on the second lap. With a 1-star Regera coming in second, a 4-star 918 coming in third, and I think a 3-star Apollo N coming in fourth. Pretty good showing for the sluggish Cien. In this race, we're facing a couple 918s, a Pagani Regera BC, and a GTR Nismo. Now, this track is one that is quite twisty and curvy, so there's a good chance that the GTR Nismo might be able to do a bit better here than he might be able to do on some other tracks that might be more top speed based. Actually, with the GTR Nismo's buff and the Vulcan's nerf in the second update to the game, I believe it was, they're now actually quite close in terms of performance. The Vulcan is still slightly better, I believe, but the Nismo is no longer super far last in Class A. So we've managed to pass the Nismo, and we now only have the Regera BC in front of us. And given how good the BC is, this is going to be quite a tough one to catch up to. But the BC didn't always used to be this good, about on par with the 918 now, I believe. It used to be kind of bad, not like horrible for Class A, but not the greatest thing either. It had good nitro efficiency, but its handling wasn't great. But then in Update 2, it got buffed in most aspects, making it, well, a lot better than it used to be. But the problem was, most people had already spent their tokens on the 918, which was the unleashed car that came out right before the Regera. So they didn't have tokens for the Regera, and the people that did probably did not bother going for it, since they already had the 918, which was much better than the Regera at the time. So yeah, that is probably why you won't see, well, a whole lot of Regeras around. At least not as many as the 918s. So the second lap passes with him getting further and further ahead, and we come in second place. The next race is against one car only, but it's a very powerful car, the Koenigsegg Regera. This Koenigsegg was, I believe, at 2 or 3 stars. It was around 3700 rank, which was a lot higher than what the Cien was at. So as you can see here, the Regera doesn't really start up much faster than the Cien does. Yeah, that's the thing. The Regera, while it's faster than the Chiron and has a better handling stat, its nitro efficiency and acceleration are not as good. And that is why I believe the Chiron is better than the Regera on pretty much all tracks. In the current S-Class Elite thing, you will only see Chirons pretty much in the top 100. Of course, there's some Regeras, but they're mostly Chirons. Now, it is on not exactly a high top speed oriented track, so that probably has something to do with it. But I will be doing some tests in my 4-star Chiron versus my 4-star Regera on a bunch of different tracks, so we can see really how they do against each other in many different cases. Now, in this race, this Regera was on our tail. He has definitely the speed advantage, and, well, I'm not exactly sure what the advantage this Cien has over the Regera, but it's got a really great driver, so that probably has something to do with it, and we come up near the end of this race. But wait, it's 2 laps. But wait, the Regera can't catch up, and we come in first. Do you guys want me to do another race sometime, acting like a commentator for a sports event or something like I did in my 918 video? If you haven't watched that yet, definitely go and check it out. It's pretty funny. It was a race that Dr. Halusian, the hot dog, and me all got in, so I figured it was a pretty special race and I'd do something special for it. So the reason that you won't see as many Regeras in this video as other cars is because, well, it's not exactly the easiest car to get. However, a whole lot of people have it now, but this video was recorded during the Northern King season, meaning that people hadn't gotten to the later days of the Regera thingy yet. And if you had fewer cars, you couldn't get the Regera until later in the event. I'm sure that in the next season, which probably will have the Regera since the Chiron was in a lot of seasons after it came out, that you will see a lot more of them than you did in the Northern King season. And next season, I do plan to make a video about my 4-star Regera. And big thanks to RPM Freeze for making it into the top 10 in that event and allowing the second club of Legions United to get the Regera decal. Now, I know a lot of people in the top 10 clubs did not actually get the decal. Only about half the people in our club actually did, through some sort of bug or glitch or something, I don't know, but Gameloft is looking into it. If that happened to you, you're in one of the top 10 clubs and didn't get it, contact customer care and hopefully Gameloft will be able to give the decals to those people who rightfully earned them. So we come in first in this race, beating a Regera who comes in second place, as well as 2 918s, 1 Huera BC, and 3 GTR Nismo. In the hands of a skilled driver, the Cien can be quite a beast. Now for a race against a quite high-ranked Huera BC. The one in this race is over 3,500 rank, and the Cien is at 3,100. So this should be interesting. Now, the reason that they changed the stats of all those cars in the Update 2, I believe it was so that the cars' ranks would be more closely matched with their stats, and that cars with higher ranks would generally do better than cars with lower ranks. And they did a pretty good job with it. The best and worst cars list is now sorted a lot much more by how the cars actually appear in the class. So that was pretty good. Now, I don't really like that the stats got changed. I don't like that aspect of it. I feel like they should have just changed the ranks rather than changing the stats, and that would have made more sense. Like they did in Asphalt 8. Now, I don't agree with the changes there either. I'm just saying that would probably be better than changing the stats. And speaking of Asphalt 8, so far the petition has done nothing, and I'm not really sure it will, and we thought it couldn't get any worse, but Gameloft has done something else. They've brought back some Asphalt moments, which sounds nice. However, they're not exactly for the best of cars. They're for ones like the Zenvo TS1 and the McLaren M14A, which are not horrible cars. The M14A actually does pretty good in the new system with the new ranks, I should say, which seems to be staying at least for now. But the bad thing about it is they now require on some of them for you to have a certain VIP level, meaning you have to pay money to even play events to get cars that may not even be all that great. I don't understand the logic here. In that race, we soundly beat the BC. Tomorrow, at least at the time of recording this, I plan to make a video about the Porsche Carrera GT in Asphalt 8, kind of explaining about the new system and all my thoughts on the game and what is the future of Asphalt 8 on my channel. So stay tuned for that if you are interested in such things. I've got a lot to cover there. On a more positive note, we're getting close to reaching 16,000 subscribers. As promised, whenever I reach that, I will be uploading an Asphalt 9 music video. Assuming my subscriber growth continues at the current rate, that'll probably be released on Tuesday, at least that's my current estimation, and I'm sure you guys are going to like it. So stay tuned for that as well. In this race, we're facing a nearly 3,800 ranked Pagani Huera BC. The races in this video really go to show that it's not just the car that determines the winner of the race, the driver plays a huge part in it as well, even more so than in Asphalt 8, I would say. Because in Asphalt 8, it was pretty easy to get up to speed and stay there, and the bits that you could do to improve and pass people, which was like taking corners sharper or going at barrel rolls lower, stuff like that, wouldn't really give you too much time. But in Asphalt 9, momentum is the key to maintaining positions and staying in first and catching up and stuff like that. And there's a whole lot more room for error and a whole lot more room for catching up, at least from what I've seen. Which is another reason why worse cars can be better ones in Asphalt 9, maybe more often than in Asphalt 8. Now for the final race of the video, where we're facing a 3-star Spider. I actually managed to 4-star my Spider recently after I bought 2 of the Year of the Pig packs, or whatever they were called. Maybe I'll make another video about that car if it is in the next season. I don't know. I don't expect the next season to be an open season since the current dual season is, but yeah, if I can use that or my newly 4-starred Aventador SV because of the Unleashed event, I probably will, because I do like both of those cars quite a bit. So now it's time for my general review about this car. It is a mid-Class B car with good top speed, but not so great everything else, making it better than the Ford GT, but significantly worse than the kings of Class B. However, if driven properly, it can do quite well in multiplayer given that you could manage its top speed with its low nitro efficiency and acceleration, which is something that it seems like Afiq has been able to do pretty well. Also, this car loses quite a bit of speed when drifting and turning, which is actually what the handling stat shows. If you guys didn't know, it doesn't necessarily mean cars can drift or handle better necessarily, but rather if the handling stat is higher, you lose less speed when turning or drifting. This can be easily seen if you drift a car around the Cairo 360-degree turn at stock and then do it again at max. You'll see the drifting is practically the same, but you lose less speed at max. And we've beat this 911. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you've enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 8 and 9 content, and especially that music video. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.